Drift away with Cirque du Soleil.
Mathia is an award-winning photographer who's focused on the Grand Canyon for quite some time. Her work's been showcased in Arizona highways, including a recent cover shot for the magazine, and her photographs can be found in the Grand Canyon's Visitors Center. We welcome photographer Suzanne Mathia to Arizona Horizon. Good to have you here.
Oh, my pleasure.
How long have you been photographing the Grand Canyon?
Well, since I moved to Arizona.
And how long ago was that?
So we moved to Arizona probably in the early 90s. But I grew up in England, and the Grand Canyon was always one of those places that just, you know, it was one of the wonders of the world that someday we had to see. And then we actually moved to Arizona, and I got to see the Grand Canyon as a tourist. But about 10 years ago, I started doing photography a lot more seriously, and obviously spend a lot of time at the canyon because it's a fabulous place and it's ever-changing.
When you first saw the canyon coming over from England and everything you'd heard and read and even seen in the photographs themselves, what'd you think?
Gobsmacked.
Yeah, there you go. You're from England, all right.
There's no way that pictures, even some of the greatest pictures, can do the canyon justice. It's just absolutely awe-inspiring, and it's so different from the rim. It's so different just below the rim. It's so different when you go through it on a raft. You know, there's all sorts of different ways to experience the canyon.
Yeah.
And it's just beautiful.
When you decided to take photography seriously, do you remember your first photograph of the canyon?
No, I probably don't, to be honest
with
you. I've taken that many photographs. I'd like to go back and take a few more and maybe go back through the archives and see. Yeah, I'm sure it was I'm sure probably it was a picture at Desert View Watchtower, because that would have been the first place I would have arrived. And I'm sure it was a very snappy shot, and I have taken Desert View Watchtower a million ways since then. But
well, we have some photographs that you have taken of the canyon.
Yes.
And as we look at these, what do you look for in a shot?
Well, it's always light. Either interesting light, the color of light, how light plays on the canyon. The first photograph you showed there was at Navajo Point, which is an area I like to go in the mornings. And what happened, the mist had come up and the sun was rising behind the mist and just made this amazing sherbet colors that came through there. And that was taken actually with a telephoto lens.
Oh,
so
wow.
really zooming in
Yes.
onto the Colorado River coming through there. But Navajo Point is usually where you'll find me at sunrise most days at the canyon.
Wow. And we have some other photographs, I think,
Yeah.
in the snow and some other
Yes.
spots along. I mean, this is absolutely gorgeous.
This was one of those epic days at the canyon when you just knew everything was going to come together. This was also a December cover for Arizona highways. And there was a huge snowstorm, and then it looked like nothing was going to happen, and then the next day it just started to lift and started running around the canyon like a crazed.
When you saw that scene, did you stop and go, that's it?
Yes,
or
I did.
So
that
happens.
one was it. That one, as soon as I took that shot, I said, that's it.
But before you took the shot, you had to see that.
Yes.
Can you frame a shot before you?
Well, I knew it was going to be good. I know that tree. That's my tree.
Okay.
So I got down there, and then what I saw happening was, you know, and what often happens at the canyon is that the clouds just rise and fall depending on the temperature. As it starts to get warmer, the clouds come up. When I first got down there was no scene of the canyon
Yes.
behind it, but I could tell that it was going to come. And so I was in the right place, got it all set up, and just shot it.
Let's take a look at some of your other photographs here, because these are absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
And here again, I mean, I'm not a professional photographer, but if I see that, I'm taking a picture of that.
Well, I was actually teaching a workshop for this one, and we were destined to go to another location. And as we were driving down the canyon, I saw the clouds start to move like this. I said, nope, we're going here again. This happens to be from the Yavapai Geology Museum, which is a lovely place to shoot. This is a sunset shot. And I took my group out there, and as I say, we were just shooting it like crazy. And I was just telling them, shoot every aperture,
Yes.
every shutter speed, every angle you can think of, because this is going to be special.
Yeah, one of them's going to work.
It's going to be special.
Patience, curiosity, how much do they play?
A lot.
A lot.
Patience, persistence, and practice. And you've just got to, there's many, many times I go to the canyon or any other place for that matter, and I don't get shots, you know, but I learn a little bit each time I do. And then when I am there and the conditions are setting up just right, then it's really magical.
Reaction to being on the cover of Arizona Highways.
Giddy, always.
Yeah.
Yeah, we call it the manila envelope syndrome. So, you know, when you open the mailbox and there's that nice little manila envelope on there from Arizona Highways, you know you've probably got a cover or something on the inside.
Look at that beautiful shot. It's like you're at the top of the world.
This is actually at the North Rim. This is a place called Wotan's Throne. And what's happening here is the canyon was filling with smoke because of some of the fires. Which usually is a bad thing, but as the sun began to set, it almost, you know, had a sort of an ethereal glow in the canyon, and to me it almost looks like the whole thing is underwater.
It does.
So sometimes when you're faced with some difficult circumstances, they can turn out to be some of the better light.
And here's another beautiful shot.
This is a lovely morning shot from a point on the South Rim called Moran, and that just picks up that beautiful morning light in the morning.
From your website, I noticed a quote, "All the technique in the world does not compensate for the inability to notice."
Yeah, exactly.
You have to be...
You have to be paying attention, have to notice things, and be ready.
Yeah.
You know, I always have my camera out. A lot of times when I'm with a group of photographers, everybody puts their camera away and packs up and gets ready for the hike back out. And I'm always have my camera over my shoulder because I know on the way home there's going to be a shot. And if I don't have my camera ready, I might not take it. So it's a question of just always being ready, always looking for those little details and being ready to capture them.
When you teach your students about photography, the basic question is, what makes a good photograph?
Impact.
Really?
Yeah, it's just, and that can be defined in any sort of way. It just has to make a statement, it has to have impact. That impact doesn't have to be necessarily powerful, it can be very gentle and serene, but it has to have some sort of impact to it. So you just stop in your tracks and look at it.
And real quickly, before you go, digital photography, has that changed how you approach the medium?
Yeah, absolutely, because I can make corrections in the field. I now know that I'm underexposed or I'm overexposed or this isn't going to work or that isn't going to work. I get that immediate feedback. And digital photography now has gotten to the point that the image quality is as good as it was with film. So we kind of had the best of both worlds.
Well, congratulations on a great career, and you're not done yet. You got a lot more
no,
photographs to take. Suzanne Mathia, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
We want to hear from you. Submit your question